All right, Rich, we are back on the Andre Duke Show. How we doing tonight, Rich?
Duke, it's Friday Eve. I'm looking forward to the weekend. What has been probably the most longest week ever in terms of weeks.
Yeah, I hear you on that. That is no fun, but also shout out to all the people down there in Oxford, Mississippi. Just absolutely um the ice and everything that's down there. I don't know if you've seen any of that or what's going on the news. They got a ton of
Yeah.
ice down there. So
Oh,
hopefully all those folks get their power back. I think there, Nashville, Northern Alabama, some parts of Georgia, um, a lot of those people affected by the just crazy polar vortex we got. But with that being said, Rich, I think this is one of the first times we spoke since we can
the
say
Natty.
the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions.
Still wild to me.
Now,
Still wild, but
I
hats off to the Hoosiers, man.
so I guess I'll start it off with this, and we got a myriad of topics today, and we're gonna get to the Dabo stuff. Um, I know a lot of people are anticipating with that, and if people watch the earlier shows that I've done, I had somebody come out and confirm on a different network something that I had anticipated because of some connections, and we'll get to that in a minute. So, Hoosiers national champions. An interesting thing I thought came out a few days ago. John Summerall taking the logos off the players. Are you behind that? Said they haven't earned the right to wear the gator yet.
Yeah, I think you got to earn your stripes.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's how you
No.
build a program, build a culture, and
Yeah, exactly. Build a culture, build some camaraderie with the young men in amongst that program. Try to establish also some continuity too, Duke.
yeah. So I think the big thing here is Summerall is I think he's building in the right direction. I think it's going to take time. I don't know how patient they're going to be at Florida. That's just my opinion. Um, it's going to
You know,
be
it's a marathon, not a sprint. But with nowadays with college football, it's turning into
2 years.
2 years.
And then because you used to see, guys would get 5 back in the day. They would get 5 years because typically the first year when you took over in the spring, you it was year 5 when they made those decisions. Now they're getting to 2-3 years into where they're making these decisions. So
Yeah,
I think there's something to be said about that. But I think, John Summerall's been a head coach for 4 years. Every year he's played for his conference championship. I know he split in the AAC. He won 2 in the Sun Belt, and he took Tulane to the playoffs. Regardless of however you cut it, it is what it is. But also, while we got everybody here, if you can do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us a ton. Also, stuff coming out of Boulder. Where are you at on the fines for the kids? If you don't no show practice, $2,500.
it's good.
I look at that, and I know Matt McChesney and Bailey talked about it, and Matt brings up a good point. What if the kids just don't pay you?
Cut their ass.
And I don't know. I think you're getting into a slippery slope. The universities and the NCAA have been taking it on the chin in state court.
Yeah, Mensa with Duke and everything, man.
Oh, that went how I predicted it, because when I did a show
Yeah,
and I talked about that, I said with the Mensa stuff, it wasn't going to end well for either party. You can be mad that he's leaving. That's fine. It's your right. You can be mad all you want. But at the end of the day, if you try to sue him, it's not going to bode well for you, just for the simple fact of they're going to use it against you in recruiting.
Oh yeah. Whatever adds fuel to the fire. Anything negative, I mean, they're gonna use it against you to
Oh,
try and to persuade some kid into joining their school.
oh yeah. We'll get.
I mean, it's starting to get very, very cutthroat in college football, dude. We thought it was cutthroat before. Oh,
Yeah, it's getting worse.
it's getting worse and worse.
Also, I don't know if you've seen what Coach Cal's comments were the other day, but I thought they were fascinating. And it was funny because he just said some stuff. It was very, very interesting. Because it comes off the piggyback of Kentucky losing 55-80 to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt's a good basketball team. So that's kind of where that's at.
I might have caught a glimpse of something scrolling throughout the day, maybe on my lunch break, but I didn't see. What did he say?
He basically said Mark Pope's the right guy for the job. And I mean, it's tough. I know this is just riveting podcasting, but I think it's tough to judge Mark Pope off of what that is. Now, the other thing too, I will say, is that Kentucky is it's kind of a pressure cooker because it's the only ticket in town, and you're one of the blue bloods of college basketball. Him being a former player, I think that he's got to get it turned around or have some tournament success, because if he misses the tournament this year, Kentucky spent a ton of money on their basketball roster, so it's going to be tough to justify that, in my humble opinion.
Churn and burn in 1 year.
I mean, the portal set up for it in college basketball.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just the way recruiting and everything is getting sorted out. I think it's fascinating that you're having kids that would normally go to a Power 4 school. They would normally go to a Power 4 school and they would sit for a year or two and then they would get in the game. Well, now it was normally the top handful of prospects in college basketball that would play right away.
Yeah.
Anymore, they're going to the group of 5 and they're transferring up. I think that's why you're seeing this bigger separation in college basketball more than you are in football. I just feel that's the whole thing, really, in a nutshell.
I know CBS is saying something pounded by the portal. Teams hit hardest by departing transfers who are starting at new schools in 2025, 2026.
Oh yeah.
Illinois, North Carolina, Drake, the Tide. I think they even got the Golden Flashes. Nope, no Golden Flashes. St. X. They even got Xavier down there too. Wow.
Also,
yeah, I mean the portal with it's college basketball. It's made college basketball a little bit more interesting.
Oh yeah. So I guess we'll get to some more football topics here, but the Pitt Panthers crossed the radar today.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they're going to close the 2 upper bowl decks at Acusure Stadium. They're cutting their capacity by 17,000 seats.
Ooh, it's a lot.
I don't know why they are doing this. It goes from being like the second biggest stadium in the ACC to 10th by doing that. And they said they would have talks about reopening the upper 2 decks, but basically, long story short,
ticket sales.
Yes, ticket sales. They said on average they sell 58,000 tickets. I'm hard pressed. I've been to 2 Pitt games and a couple years apart. One when they played Georgia Tech and the place looked empty as hell. The other one was North Carolina, looked fairly empty. And then a year ago when Clemson was there, I went to the Clemson game and they actually kind of packed it out a little bit because it was a close game going down to the end. Clemson ended up pulling it out, but that's just the most Pitt thing ever. You're a MAC school in a pro sports town. No one cares.
Well said.
Look at it this way. The whole transportation thing, to get the students to the game, they have to go clear across town from Oakland in Pittsburgh. That is a hell of a drive. Plus, you got to fight the traffic, and that is if you want to be packed in there.
Well, what's worse, that or Miami Stadium? Aren't Miami Florida kids, aren't they like an hour away?
I think with traffic, it's not a good commute for the students.
Oh,
They need to build an on-campus stadium and pack it out like the old Orange Bowl. You know, that was one thing leading up to the national championship that Miami felt that they were in a disadvantage because they don't have the old Orange Bowl. I mean, I just kind of think it's kind of a joke, really. Some of these schools that don't have on-campus stadiums. I mean, it's kind of sad when JMU can create a better on-campus atmosphere than what the University of Miami can do. You've seen all the disputes that went on in the parking lots. It was not a good look because there were people trying to go there to tailgate. They wouldn't let them in without a ticket. They had to have a ticket to the game to go. I'm just like, what are we doing? You don't do that for any other game?
No.
And I mean, it was one of the most expensive tickets of all time. Like, they're not going to do that for the Super Bowl. When the Super Bowl's in Miami, there'll be people out there tailgating, not going to the game, I would assume.
Exactly.
So
that, I mean, I don't understand the logic behind that. But hey, it's Miami. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I just
trying to penny pinch everybody for everything.
I think it's the people who own the stadium. I don't think it was the university. I think it was the people who own the stadium.
Who owns this? Isn't the Ross family still in the stadium?
Yeah, which I just look at that and I think, like, whatever. Like,
yeah,
it's bizarre. I guess getting into some other football stuff. Seen this, Stanford Steve had Kurt Signetti on, and Stanford Steve talked about him playing Purdue. Indiana the last 2 years has beat Purdue 102-3 in 2 years, and Signetti said, "What's that?" He said, and Stanford Steve repeats it and says, 122-3 in 2 years you beat them. He said, "Yeah, I heard you. I just wanted you to say it again." Just very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that was for years that was the one rivalry game that in Indiana that it was just a barn burner.
Oh yeah,
it was usually pretty heavily favored with Purdue. Now it's
not
it was
even
kind of
close.
it was kind of even keeled for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, with Sig getting there, jeez.
Yeah, it's been a slaughter fest the last couple of years. I guess we'll talk about a hot button issue. You living in Canton.
Oh, don't get me going.
Belichick,
bullshit. Don't get me going.
Not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I've seen anonymous people come out and say the past sins of Deflategate, Spygate have played a role into this. I think this is the one jab that they could take at him that they knew they could get away with, and they did it. They had one card to play, and they played it.
Yeah. The Hall was very quick to respond yesterday. I don't know if you saw their press release.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's been the talk of town. That the town, people at the gym were talking about this morning. Yes, people text me. I'm like, what? They're like, what's going on? Why was he snubbed? I said, hey, it's those voters. Um, I don't get it. I don't get why, all the accolades he's completed in the NFL as being one of the greatest coaches of all time. 6 Super Bowls, 8 appearances, Duke. And
I
he's not worthy of a first time ballot? Give me a break.
I think putting the context around it, all the accomplishment, but like I said, it's
But that's what they base everything off of is stats, stats, stats. But
yes,
yet you're going to hold this Spygate and Deflategate against them. What? Give me a break. Give me a
I
break. And they did the same thing with To. They snubbed To for 2-3 years.
right. I think when you get in that room, it's a popularity contest.
They're drunk with power.
And one of the
And
comments that I had seen,
mhm.
Yahoo Sports posted it. Mike, he was from the Pro Football Hall of Fame selection committee member. He says a lot of words, and then the key quote that I pulled out was, "There's no erasing the stain of Spygate from his bio. That wasn't alleged behavior."
Hell,
I mean,
when you have Jimmy Johnson protesting, not saying he's going to come this summer, you're gonna have a lot of Hall of Famers not come back this year. And you know what? As a Stark County native who loves the Hall of Fame, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the area because of all the money that the Hall of Fame brings in during those 3 days. It's gonna be very detrimental. And like I said, Duke, these voters, they're drunk with power. They're getting back at him because he wasn't too friendly with them when he was coaching. It's like, well, who gives a shit? You guys would ask dumb questions and this and that. The guy performed on the field. You're going to punish him for how he was. Give me a break.
I totally agree with you. I look at this, from 10,000 feet, and I think you have to put it in context that all of that stuff happened. He won the Super Bowls. They can't take that away.
Mm-mm.
I think Robert Kraft's going in, isn't he?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I
Because
haven't heard who's going in, who is leaked. They haven't really leaked anything yet. Not till next week.
well, I just look at this. If Kraft is going in the Hall of Fame, I think that the way it ended in New England, there is so much animosity between Kraft and Belichick to where it's unsalvageable.
Politics.
Oh, yeah. And I think that when you look at it at the end of the day, the Belichick tenure ends in New England, and I think that Kraft helped. Well, allegedly. I mean, if you want to put it in context 100%, I think Kraft campaigned quietly for him not to get another head coaching job in the NFL.
That could be the case.
And also, I think that I would go out on a limb and say I don't know how much him and Tom Brady have even talked. I would say that that relationship needs repaired.
I think Brady came out and said no, it was an embarrassment not putting him in.
I think Tom's going to take the high road on it, but I think when Belichick said, "Oh, the Patriots organization isn't welcome at North Carolina's facility," I think Bill started it there. And Robert Kraft ended up getting the last laugh in this whole thing. And I don't think Kraft was going to share a stage with Belichick. I think he probably told the Hall of Famers or the Hall of Fame committee, if you put me and him both in, I'm not coming. And who's got more stroke in the NFL? One of 32 owners or one of the greatest coaches of all time? Robert Kraft pulled his card, and that's what he did. And he can deny and say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, you didn't put him in. You didn't make him a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think they need to, truthfully, they need to get rid of these sports media people voting. They need to have the Hall of Famers who have been enshrined the last 20 years that are still around get in there and put their votes to. There's plenty from from all 32 teams you can put in and vote and have them say a vote.
Here's the other thing. Do you know what's very fascinating with sports fans in general?
Yeah.
I know you probably won't find this fascinating or not, but I think with American sports fans, we have a obsession with committees and brackets.
Yeah.
I mean, look at March Madness.
Look at March Madness. I mean, college football, the NFL,
brackets and committees. Even though there's not the committee part of it's the Hall of Fame, but I also think that there's a lot of trading of votes that go into the Hall of Fame. I think there's people that
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yep, I think they trade votes like that. And some people will say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I'm telling you, I guarantee you, one of the guys that will get in will be one day will probably be Hines Ward. And a lot of the old writers go in there and campaign for people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, baseball, they kind of did whatever they did. But getting into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame is really hard. NFL Hall of Fame's equally as hard. I just look at it and I think that you just kind of devalue the worth of it.
Well, I mean, they have. I feel like they've the Hall of Fame is for those who are elite.
Yes.
And when Tony Baselli got enshrined, I'm thinking, yeah, he was good in the 90s when he got drafted number 1 overall by the Jags, but he wasn't elite.
Right.
Why are we putting him in there? Why are we putting him in over, I forget who was up for that year, Duke. I can't remember. There's so many names. All right, let me see.
It's just I think class and timing matter. Take Roethlisberger. When Roethlisberger comes up, should he be a first ballot Hall of Famer? I think so. 2-time Super Bowl winner, will he be? Probably not, because they're going to hold the off the field stuff against him.
Yep. But keep in mind, they I think Michael Irvin was the first ballot, and they put him in right away.
Oh yeah,
in 2007, they put him in right away, even though he had issues off the field. They still put him in. Right. I had an uncle tell me he's not going in there because of his issues. Like he's going in there.
Oh yeah.
So it's ticky tack, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. So
they'll do it for one person, but they won't do it they'll do it for another.
Right. Also transitioning into some TV news, Peacock, NBC Universal has posted a fourth quarter loss of $552 million, despite having a this was posted by Sportico, despite having a record number of paying subscribers of over 44 million paid subscribers.
Wow.
They are saying it's because they're getting they picked up the NFL exclusive package where they have the Peacock only games, and then they are citing the NBA as why they are having so many issues. I don't know. I think that, you know how Congress has that handshake agreement with college football about they're not going to play on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I think the NFL's coming to Tuesday and they're going to be streaming only. I'm telling you, they're going to take over another day.
Damn.
And I think it'll be a earlier primetime game, like a 7:30 start.
I say do it at 6:30. I like those 6:30 games, like how they did for like the playoffs.
Yeah.
Those were great. Those were great. Great. I love that time slot.
So I'm just telling people now, you better get ready. You better get ready to see the NFL on Tuesday because I think that that is coming, and I think they're also going to start earlier in December coming for Saturdays because they're standalone Saturday games. Like when they played Bears Packers after the regular season, that got a huge TV number. Huge.
Oh,
It was almost 40 million people.
they blew out the NBA on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah. They've taken over Black Friday as well. They have one game on Black Friday. So,
yeah, I watch it all.
So yeah, it's coming. Also, I guess we'll dive into this. If I am this person, I think I leave the tampering away or leave it alone when it comes to speaking about this. So on the what is it that the triple option show, Urban Meyer says if you lie to the NCAA, you can't coach. I think that's pretty rich coming from Herb, to be honest, considering he had 31 arrests.
Yeah.
Tamp it down, Duke. Yeah. 31 arrests in, what was that, 6 years at Florida? That's one out of what, every 4 players on the roster at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that because he's making it in reference to Dabo Swinney calling out Ole Miss for tampering with his players, I think that that is a issue, to say the least. I don't think anything's going to happen with this. I really don't.
No, they're going to brush it under the carpet, Duke. We all know that.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody is tampering.
Yeah, everybody is. I mean,
everybody.
Hell, even Kent State is.
This is because I don't know how you stop the tampering, in all honesty, because if you have representation, and especially if they're an attorney that does your contract, if somebody makes you a committable offer, I would say by law, they have to offer it to you or at least tell you.
Right. Yep.
So I don't know why. If let's just say the NCAA wants to punish Pete Golding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I draw this conclusion whenever it happened. So you have all the kids, well, not all of them. You had a Princewell from Ole Miss goes to LSU. What's stopping Pete Golding from turning in Lane Kiffin?
Not a damn thing.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think the most dangerous thing that you could do is put a past or a current FBS head coach under oath on the stand or in a deposition if they just spilled their beans.
It's going to be a whole snowball effect.
Because I think that they could turn Ole Miss could turn every kid that left in the portal, they could probably turn a school in. Every kid from Clemson could probably turn some people in, and Clemson themselves could probably get turned in.
Just one after the other, dude.
You have a mess here. If I am the people at the NCAA, get on a Zoom call, Pete Golding, Dabo, and say this stops. I think that unless you do not stop it before it gets out of hand, which it's on the way to getting out of hand, because Urban comes out and makes that comment, and then a couple hours later, Fresno State comes out and says they want NCAA investigators to look into Ole Miss tampering with a Fresno State player, and Fresno State says they got receipts. So I don't know where exactly the bottom is going to fall out on this, but
it'll get ugly. It'll get messy. It's gonna.
Some people in the room need to say, because I'm sure. I don't think Nico was tampered with. I think that because I heard some stuff with Nico, his name getting circulated with the UCLA stuff. Well, that doesn't matter. Deshaun Foster got fired. So I think the bigger issue is that I think some kids hopped into the portal with nowhere to go, and that's why they're stuck in the portal.
Yeah.
And if I'm Fresno State, I think you're barking up the wrong tree, because every kid that's left your program that goes on to a bigger program, you take Utah State, their coach came out and said, hey, we had a running back come to us, develop for 2 years, and got $500,000 to go in the portal. You're literally hampering yourself, because it's not 2014 anymore. I don't think people are grasping that concept.
Mm-mm.
The whole model has changed. Look at Mike Gundy. He didn't do anything with the portal. Where is Mike Gundy at now? Losing to Tulsa and getting fired. Look at Lane Kiffin.
Not adapting.
Look at Lane Kiffin's portal class. Jordan Seaton, Sam Livette, Princewell. You're not going to tell me that those kids weren't tampered with?
You got to be really young and naive.
It's like, stop. It's tampering. It's what the game is now. And I don't know if people are ever going to grasp that concept. I mean, look at the kids that went from Utah to Michigan. Did Kyle Whittingham tamper with them? I'm not accusing Kyle Whittingham of tampering, but at the end of the day, I think everybody's tampering. I think the most egregious thing is that if they weren't going to punish Michigan for doing the sign stealing stuff, what's going to stop you from tampering? The biggest benefactor of tampering has been the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah.
Because they've taken a ton of SEC kids. You don't see the teams in the Southeast Conference complaining about tampering. You could go down you could go down the Notre Dame rabbit hole and say, look at all the players Notre Dame brought in from Ohio State, the 2 receivers. You're not going to tell me they weren't tampered with?
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio State could have a complaint. I think that, Syracuse and Fran Brown, you could just go down the list. That
it's a matrix of tampering, Duke. I'm telling you.
And all the people getting these big portal classes, I'm sure Cignetti's guilty of tampering.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I just think that I had a former coach tell me this one time when I asked him about the tampering stuff. He said, if you look hard enough, there's shit in everybody's front yard.
Yeah.
That's just like the Tennessee stuff, with Jeremy Pruitt.
Yep.
When Pruitt was going to take him to court for his money, the NCAA comes up and says, whoa. We'll let you coach again. We don't want to go to court. That's just like whenever they fired Ed Orgeron at LSU when they were having all those Title IX issues. I don't know if you remember that, but, and I'm not taking a dig at Ed Orgeron about this, but all of a sudden they weren't going to pay him and they were going to try to fire him for cause. And then a day goes by and then they come out at a press conference and we're going to, he's going to be done at the end of the year. And then Ed Orgeron tells the story. Coach, we're going to give you your buyout, all of it, $17.2 million. I just don't think sometimes people are grasping the concept of what really goes on, how the sausage is made. It's like like take Will Howard.
Yeah.
He got pushed out at Kansas State, but he told the story on Roethlisberger's podcast. Oh, I was talking to USC, I was talking to Notre Dame, I was talking to Ohio State, and he didn't put the context in there. But was that before? He was in the portal? You know what I mean? I just
right.
And I get it, whenever they fire the coach, when you fire your coach during the season, you are just welcoming tampering. Look at Oklahoma State.
It's pillage season.
Look at what happened to Florida. I mean, look at the Arkansas.
Did Lagway commit anywhere? Do we know?
I think he's at Baylor.
That's right. Okay, he's at Baylor. That's right. Now I remember.
Yeah. He was leaving the door open. I believe he was trying to. I think he was trying to unilaterally go to Ole Miss, but they got the stuff back with Chambliss is going to win that. He's going to get that TRO. He's going to play.
Good.
I just don't know how.
I think the kid deserves it.
Oh,
you grant other kids medical eligibility and all this other hoopla bullshit. Why can't you grant it to him?
Well, I think it's very ironic that when the NCAA had a chance to just let this all go away, now they're going to take their chances in a Lafayette County courtroom.
Oh, that's going to go over like a lead balloon.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you the judge is going to be like, bang the gavel and say TRO granted, and we'll see in a couple of months. And then Ole Miss doubles down, and they paid him $5 million, or they're going to pay him $5 million. I just think it's very, very fascinating, to say the least, on how the NCAA is handling of the eligibility with under-recruited kids that have went to other universities. Yeah, Joe, Lafayette County. But leads me to believe, coming up here, with all of this stuff going on, I would say the last 2 months for Pete Golding, on top of getting the ice storm down there, trying to get the university reopened, spring football is around the way. Do you think he is? Do you think he's under pressure to win?
That's a tough one, Duke, because he was 2 plays away from playing in the Natty.
Here's, I guess, my next question. Who do we see in the playoffs first? Do we see Lane Kiffin back in the playoffs, or
I see Pete Golding back in the playoffs.
You think he gets the playoffs before Lane does at LSU?
I think so.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is going to get. I think it's going to get weird at some spots of this. But I think with Chambliss, there's going to be a heightened expectation. They also have.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if he gets granted, they're going to be picking them to be in the Natty at least final four.
Yeah, I think so. It'll depend on what Ole Miss looks like on defense. Joe saying LSU is doing very good at recruiting. Yeah, I mean, Lane Kiffin is a recruiting machine, but also for the kids that come in as freshmen, don't expect to play at LSU. If you go back and look at Kiffin's snap counts, a lot of the freshmen didn't play a whole bunch. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. I think there's going to be a heightened expectation for Ole Miss to go back to the playoffs. I think that Pete Golding, I wouldn't say he's under an immense amount of pressure, but I think it's going to be one of those, come on, coach, let's get back to the playoffs now.
Right. Yeah.
So I think we're going to see some of that.
I think Lane has more pressure than Golding.
I definitely think Lane has more pressure than Pete Golding. And the way I look at it when it comes to the Golding Kiffin stuff, I think that it has to go well. Lane has no choice. Because you're in the pressure cooker of all pressure cookers, to be honest.
The lion's den.
Joe says kids were committing before Kiffin was confirmed. He's going there crazy. Yeah. I mean, LSU in the state of Louisiana is a talent-rich area, and I feel like the university sells itself more than, because it sells itself more than who's the coach, because Orgeron won there, Les Miles won there, Nick Saban won there. Orgeron not in coaching, Les Miles went to Kansas and had an absolute disaster at Kansas. So I think the university recruits itself. It's the program's bigger than the coach, and I think that at times that's going to be a problem down there. I really think it's going to be a problem down there. Some people may disagree with me, but I think that at Ole Miss, for all intents and purposes, Kiffin could be bigger than the program there. You know, you had the dog stuff, like the dog was the unofficial mascot because Ole Miss had mascot issues, to be honest, but you got that. Also, I think another coach that's going to have immense pressure, I think it's going to be Matt Campbell at Penn State.
Yeah, we'll see how they give him a Creepy Valley Duke.
I think in all honesty, I don't think he's going to get as much. I don't think he's going to get as much benefit of the doubt as what James Franklin did.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, James Franklin did win the Big Ten championship. I mean, and he beat one of the juggernauts in Ohio State. I think it's interesting that as much as people want to tout off about the conference champions, is Day under immense pressure at Ohio State to at least win the Big Ten? Or is it just basically natty or bust every year at Ohio State?
I think with the fringe, it's always natty or bust.
I'm skeptical of what Day is doing because he's let some really good players go.
Right. A lot of good wideouts, a lot of good defensive players. I mean, some DBs, I'm like thinking, what? These guys were the next line in succession at BIA.
Right.
How are we letting these guys go? I mean, I'll scratch. Go ahead.
Sorry. Also, Joe brings up a good point. I think Golish is under a ton of pressure at Auburn.
No, it's
because here's the problem. For outside of the Cam Newton years, and then after the Gus Bus went to the Natty, and then when they were all up in arms about firing Gus, you had to watch, if you're in that state, you had to watch Alabama win it, and now you're forced to watch Georgia win it back-to-back years, and then the Big Ten is on a reign of terror right now, and you see Indiana win it. And I think the people down on the plains are sitting there looking in the mirror and say, we're Auburn University. We have got to get our hat in this ring because Auburn hasn't made a playoff, the 12 team.
No.
Florida's never made the college football playoff.
I don't think Auburn's ever made the college playoff. No,
Uh,
they haven't, Duke. They have not made the college playoff.
since the 4 team.
No, they have not.
Oh, you want a fun fact? Who was the first number 1 ranked team whenever they started doing the college football playoff projection show? Who was the team that got ranked first before anybody else? The first time they revealed it.
Oh my God, dude, that's like 12 years ago.
You'll be shocked at where they are today opposed to where they were then.
Was it like Wisconsin?
Nope. Dan Mullen and the Mississippi State Bulldogs with Dakota Prescott.
Really? Man,
Yep.
that was that long ago. Damn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I think that there's going to be some soul searching going on at Auburn. I just think it's going to be a fascinating deal on how that whole thing is going to shake out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going through some other topics, got the Senior Bowl going on. The Underwear Olympics are going to start soon. I know everybody's excited about that. We're going to be diagnosing that. Also, speaking of Underwear Olympics, is it going to get contentious out there in Denver? Did you see the whole thing that went on?
About what?
Oh, with Sean Payton and Bo Nix?
No.
So, about Bo Nix's ankle, I guess they knew it had a possibility of breaking or something like that. And Sean Payton gave like a press conference and started talking about Bo Nix's injury history. And then Bo Nix does a radio interview and he's like, yeah, that's probably something he shouldn't be saying. Do we got a little infighting going on at Denver?
Ooh, get your popcorn ready.
I mean, Sean Payton's a hell of a coach. I mean, he's really turned the Broncos around.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so
going from Vance Joseph and Vic Fangio, they were a quarterback away from playing in the Super Bowl, Duke.
Yeah, they were a quarterback away from playing in the Super Bowl. Yeah, speaking of that, the Super Bowl is set. Vrabel taking on the Seahawks. I don't know. I'm not hopeful. I'm leaning Seahawks in this one.
I'm going Pats, Duke. House call handy. I'm rooting for the Northeast Ohio guy, Vrabes. That's who I'm going with.
Also, since
I was going to say, have you seen the pictures of the patches they're wearing? The 250 patch.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I'm sure that's going to
well, they put that patch on the Dukes. Wilson on all the footballs.
Joe says Nix didn't show signs of an ankle injury in college. Did it happen late? I think he had a lingering ankle issue at Oregon, and finally it just snapped because I didn't think he wanted to have surgery. But I mean, it kind of sucks that it's going to happen and that it happened in January because that's going to delay his whole offseason program. But he should be fine, I would think. But yeah, I'm sure, because the Super Bowl halftime show is going to be, I don't even know. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's going to be all over the place, so we don't get canceled. Also, Reuben Bain won the 2025 Ted Hendricks Award. And other news, so I think that we're cruising into the off season. A ton of college hoops is on. We'll be doing some of that. But as far as football, the news cycle, I think it'll just have to pass for the Ole Miss stuff. They are all the comparisons from Summerall to Urban. It's gonna it's going to get interesting at Florida. I think Summerall's going to have some pressure. Also, Gary Patterson throwing his hat back in the ring. He's going to be the defensive coordinator at USC. I thought that was kind of
I did see that,
interesting.
Duke.
And then, yeah, I'm just looking at some other stuff. Also, the height finally came out for Diego Pavia.
5'9.5" or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming he's going to get a shot somewhere to see if he can play. And I was just kind of curious on the Kevin Stefanski stuff. I think is interesting, to say the least. Him getting the Falcons job. I know the Falcons fans were freaking out because he has a losing record. Just very, very interesting. Also, 19 minutes ago, Adam Schefter reports the Falcons are hiring Bears assistant GM. So there is that.
Oh, wow.
Gonna get interesting, to say the least. And then college football, somebody put a graphic out about the most anticipated games coming into next season. Obviously, at the top of the list, Ole Miss, LSU, at Ole Miss. I would say College Game Day is going to be there. I don't know how that's going to. I don't know how that's going to shake out. I hope it's not a night game.
How many noon games is Indiana going to have on Big Noon?
Oh yeah, because they drew a big playoff number. And especially if they start out hot, yeah. Welcome to the Big Nooner, Indiana. They're going to be all over Big Noon, but I don't know. It's kind of one of those, is Fox going to go with the new shiny toy, or do we just stay tied and true? Although
I think they're going to go with Indiana. I mean, they're going to feature Indiana more. Reigning champs, big draw, Midwest. Makes sense.
I would say their spring game will get televised, won't it, instead of Ohio State's?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was thinking. Also, Joe Brady getting the job at
Buffalo.
I was thinking that was going to happen. I'm not shocked by that. The amount of money expected to be spent on this year's Super Bowl, almost $2 billion. Fun fact there.
Jeez. A lot of change.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty big deal. Joe with a question, Duke Rich. What do you know? Who's going to be the starting quarterback for Indiana? His bro, absolutely. Fernando's brother went to Georgia Tech. They got Josh Hoover out of the portal, which I think Hoover threw for over 3,500 yards. So you know what kind of steady diet you're going to see out of Indiana next year. Oh, wow. An Olympic sprinter was arrested for driving 104 miles an hour. Yikes. Also going to be where was Hoover? He was at TCU. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Although I think for the most part, I think there's going to be some epic weekends in college football coming up this fall. I think that Ole Miss LSU game, I don't know how ESPN doesn't put it at night. I think it'll be kind of like a repeat of what Tennessee was. When Kiffin went back to Tennessee, they were throwing mustard bottles. They were throwing all kinds of shit on the field. Oh, and they threw a golf ball at him too. Let's not forget. Well,
that might leave a mark.
Yeah. as I'm looking at this, I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Where are we at? I'm looking. Yeah, so I think it'll be. I'm hoping it's going to be a slow mover in the offseason. I don't think. Also, they are keeping the same format. They just tweaked it a little bit, so you don't have two group of fives in the playoffs anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that I think that's good. I don't know if they're going to be basically from CFB Kings, the format staying at 12, but auto bid structure is slightly being altered. Instead of the 5 highest ranked conference champions, it'll simply be all the Power 4 champions and then the highest ranked group of 6 champions. So if you are a so you're not going to see Tulane and James Madison again.
James Madison, yeah.
I think they looked at that and they seen the TV number. The Pop-Tarts will beat those two playoff games.
Yeah. I mean, those were goose eggs.
Because
complete and total duds.
Because really, at the end of the day, you have to look at this and say, okay, what are we going to do here? It's about TV money. Let's not lie about this any longer, in my opinion. So that's kind of Alabama with 4 losses, stayed at 4. Oh man, I don't know. I guess we'll close it out with this question. Is Joe says, "Oops, number 9." Is DeBoer going to jump out of Alabama?
Yeah.
Do you think this is his,
this is his final year? I think if things go south real quick mid-season, don't be shocked if they give him the boot.
I don't think Alabama financially can give him the boot. That's because
I think they've seen enough and they're ready to move on. They'll pay it, go their separate ways, bring on the next guy. Come in the off season.
You think he has a year where he could possibly miss the playoffs?
Oh yeah. This is the year.
That I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I haven't looked at their schedule. I don't know if their schedule's up. But I mean, every year everybody does the win, loss, or toss. I think that will Saban return if that happens? No, I think Nick Saban.
I think he's done.
I think Saban is done. Okay, what does Alabama's schedule look like? So they open up with East Carolina, then they have to go to Kentucky. Don't like that because they have Florida State coming to town, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and then Georgia comes to town, which that's going to be a banger. Got to go on the road to Tennessee. A&M comes to town. They have to go on the road to LSU, on the road back to Vandy, Chattanooga, and then Auburn. I don't like that schedule.
It's a tough schedule.
Joe says if Alabama goes 5-7, would they offer Saban to save the program? I don't know. I don't think he's coming out of retirement. I think he likes doing TV, and I think he likes controlling narratives. But the parallel, real quick before we hop out of here, the parallel that I was drawing is, do you know who Dabo Swinney's agent is?
What's his name?
Jimmy Sexton is the name you're searching for.
Yeah, him.
Do you know who Dabo's agent is?
Who?
Jimmy Sexton. Do you
No
think
way.
it's by coincidence that they had all this information? I'm just saying. So I guess
I don't know. That's for another date and time, Duke.
yeah, so I guess we'll leave it there. Also, probably won't be with you Sunday. Saturday's up in the air considering I got to work all weekend. So fun times. And if you're new here, do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button and help us grow this thing. One last thing, Joe says, what about Dabo to Bama? I think Dabo bought some much needed tampering down the hot seat for him. Although I talked to somebody that says there's no way they're ever going to fire him, but I don't know if he has another year like this. I guess we'll see. Yeah. But with that being said, do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back with you tomorrow. And everybody have a good night.
Have a great night, everybody.